Hey everybody, Chad Shimabukuro here with Keller Williams Honolulu. I wanted to put together a really short video, just some fundamental stuff with, as you can see on my screen, Docusign. I feel like there are many of you that are having some issues with Docusign, maybe not using it in the right way, or you could be using it a little bit better. So I wanted to give you a couple of tidbits, a couple of fundamentals. So first and foremost, let's open up a new Docusign. And I created, just so you know, I created a fake document, DocuSign test document, just to show you something specifically, okay? I'm gonna move this over to this side here. So I'm gonna put my name in here. Sorry, just trying to think of which email to send it to. Send it to my personal email. Here's one thing, right? So if you have multiple people signing, especially your BIC, so I'm talking to you agents, let's say you're putting something together, you want your BIC to sign it. I would highly recommend that you do not include your BIC along with this email until your BIC has approved it already. And here's the reason. If you send it over to us via DocuSign and we haven't yet approved this, the DocuSign packet, if we decline it, it declines it for everyone. So let's say hypothetically your client already signed it, the buyer already signed it, the seller already signed it. As a broker, if we decline it, they're going to get the notice of decline, and they might just go, well, why did my agent get declined, or why did their broker decline it? So, you know, to save face, to make sure that everyone's on the same page, don't include the BIC until or unless the BIC has already approved it. If the BIC already approved it, no problem. That's one convenient way to get everyone on the same page. So you can put on here, needs to sign, signing in person. That's if they're physically there with you. You can also set the signing order. I only have myself on here, but if I had more people on here, I could put this person signs first, this person signs second. Why you would use that is if somebody needs to sign right away because they're getting on a plane or they're going to go to work and they're not going to be available, set them up first so that they can sign right away and then everyone else gets it. Now, bear in mind, when you do it like that, that also means too that until that first person signs, no one else is getting that email to sign. So everyone else might be going, hey, you know, where's that document? I didn't get it. It's because that you set it up in that order. So bear that in mind. The other thing too, I'll tell you is, and I see this often, don't leave it like this. This is what DocuSign defaults to. Please DocuSign, then the semicolon or the colon, and then it's going to have whatever the name of that document is. Do yourself a favor and have proper syntax and proper protocol in your sub. You wouldn't email something like that to someone, right? Because that's how they're going to get it on the other side. So do yourself a favor and just put on there whatever the topic is. Maybe it's a purchase contract, and then put, you know, the name of the street, the address. That way, when they get it, they know, because, you know, in this market, as you guys know, you might be writing purchase offers for a number of different properties. So do yourself a favor and name it what that document is. If it's a purchase offer, put the address on there. If it's a listing presentation or listing packet, put listing on here. You know, whatever that document is, put it on there, and then type a message because they're going to see it. Okay? I mean, really, honestly, do yourself a favor and be a professional when you're dealing with this, because if it, and also the other thing too is it makes it easier for you to go back and search for what that document is that you're sending to them in both your email, because it sends it to your email as well as through the DocuSign list of documents that you're sending out. If you just have, you know, please DocuSign, that looks unprofessional. It looks like you didn't take the time to change anything. So do yourself a favor and do that. Hit next. So this is a document that I created on purpose for an example, okay? Because I want to show you guys something. So oftentimes as a BIC, agents will send me stuff and they put it under, so if you have multiple people, in this case, I only have myself on here, but if I had multiple people, it'll be in different colors with different names, right? So my name here is shown in yellow. If I had someone else underneath it, it might show it in blue. If I had someone else under that, it might show it in pink, and so on and so forth. As many people that are on that document. Now, oftentimes, what an agent will do is they'll send me stuff and they'll put it under my name for all the things that they're filling out using text boxes. And I can tell you that's really annoying. That as a broker, especially because I'm hitting next, 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 next. I'm trying to go through all these different things. because they've set it up like that. Don't do that. Again, be a professional, do things the right way. If your broker is taking the time to sign and especially you're asking your broker, can you please sign this? And as of course the running joke with agents are, I have an offer, I got to submit it in 5 minutes. There's multiple offers. Can you please sign it right away? If you're asking your broker to sign something, or you ask your broker to sign things quickly all the time, make it easier for them and don't require them to fill out documents for you. That's number one, it should be pre-completed on your part. That's your job. Number two is if you pre-completed it, make it so that they don't have to skip through that, because it ends up, when we hit next on a DocuSign, it ends up in every single section. So let's just kind of give an example. So I'm going to put a checkbox here. And this is, I'm going to move this back over to this side. So as you can see here, it says required, read only, not required. And I did that on obviously because this is kind of how it's set up. So in this section, the checkbox is required. So it's a value. I can either have it checked or unchecked. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to have a text box. Doesn't matter what's in the text box. I'm just going to duplicate that, right? So it's a required field, as you notice right here. Just for sake of example, it's required, so I'm going to put that in there. Now, another thing that you guys can do as well is if you're trying to copy and paste, one thing that I've done is I'll do that, right? So it'll bring it on over. Now you got to change the values if need be. This is helpful if you are like me. I'm a little OCD about on a purchase contract having the initials on there and the date. I'll just copy and I'll paste it, and then I can grab that paste and move it over to the right section. So everything is kind of spaced out evenly and appropriately on every single page. So this one is read only. So it's let's make it required and read only, okay? And then this one, we'll grab that down. And this is not required at all, right? So let's just separate that. We'll uncheck that so it's not required. And let's put on here these terms. So I'm duplicating basically what it says up there. And then for this one here, I'm going to check this so you can see. So one of them I checked the value in this checkbox value. And this is important when you are, for instance, if you're filling out something for the client and you want it to be preset with a checkbox, that's a good thing to do. But the other thing too is you don't want to give them a checkbox and then inadvertently make it read only, right? Let's just take this back. Let me change this. I'll make this one required, and I'll add this checkbox here, and this read only checkbox, I'm going to make it read only. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to send it. It sends it out. Now we'll jump into this email, which it was sent to. And we will wait for this document to get here so we can look and see how it looks on our end here. So here it is, listing documents, 1, 2, 3. And again, by the way, that's exactly what I'm referring to, right? This is what they're going to see. They're going to see your name here via DocuSign, and they're going to see the subject. So again, do yourself a favor when it says please DocuSign and it has whatever the name of that document is, and usually it has nothing to do with what the client recognizes, just change it. Just change it to make it more appropriate. So it could be home inspection contingency removal and then put the address. It could be the final walkthrough satisfaction and then the address. Just be a professional and complete it the right way. So here we go. See, the email comes through. The subject line is accurate. It's dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, attached to the documents we spoke about. Perfect. Let's click in there and see what happens. So hit continue. Okay, so you notice there's different things going on here, right? And this one is already checked because we had it set up like that. We already pre-selected it. So I can remove it, but it's already checked. This one is required. So it's requiring me, and that's why it says finish. It's in red, just like the signature or initial section would be. It's requiring me to have something in there. So if nothing is in there, and this is, I've had agents send stuff to me like this all the time. If nothing is in there, it won't move on to the next thing. See, it's going to say filled in. So some agents will send me stuff and they'll ask me to put in the firm's information, the name of the firm, the RB number for the firm, my own RB number. Agents, that's your job. So make sure that you complete the document and send it over. Don't send it over to the BIC and ask them to fill those kind of things out, because you don't know where we are. Like, for instance, a lot of these things I'm looking at on my phone, and my phone is, is this big. It's very small. I can't see some of those texts and those documents, and it's not as user-friendly as it would be on the computer. And while I would love to say I'm on the computer all the time, I'm always on the move. So please complete those things or pre-complete those things for us. So this one is required. So it's requiring me to put something in there. And if you put it in there for them and you know that that information is accurate, just for instance, so let's just go back to that same example where you're putting in our firm's name, Keller Williams Honolulu, you're putting our firm's RB number, you're putting the BIC's RB number in there, and you already know what it is. Just like that. You don't need to make it required, because if it's required, now it's going to automatically, as now I'm the signer, and it's tied to my name, you're going to send it to me and it's requiring me to fill that section out. Don't do that. Make it read-only. Because in read-only, you can't change this. You've already completed it. And if it's information that you don't need me to fill out, then that's perfect. Whereas not required, which is another thing, is if you're not really sure of the information, but you think it's correct and you want to give them the option to change it, then you can retype it. But read only is just that. It's already completed. It won't rest on there, won't stop on there. Also too, if you notice too, that nothing happened with the box. Whereas this one I can click on and off, this one I can click on and off, but it was preset, so I got it like this. And then when I hit finish, then of course it says, do you want to save a copy? And it kind of does all these things automatically if you have an account with them. Let's go back here and see what happened. Well, it should anyways. There we go. So it obviously says that that person signed and those documents are ready, and you can download those documents and everything else. So everything went as planned. You can open it up and view it here, which is it did exactly what it's supposed to do. But the nuances of if it's required, read only, or not required are all different things. So make sure that you as agents are checking the right thing and using the tools, because we have to use Docusign. First of all, Docusign is a phenomenal program. It's included with your Keller Williams membership to the firm anyways. So not only should you be using it, but you should be understanding what that tool is, right? And so make sure that you understand it. Make sure that when you're sending things out to not only your BIC, but also sending it to your clients, that you're using those tools. And by the way, too, there are phenomenal templates that are put in place that you should absolutely use, which means that you can and I'll create another video for that, but you can upload a listing contract, you can upload a purchase contract, and already have the initials and dates and signatures already kind of preloaded in its appropriate spot. I'll do another video on that. I just wanted to take a quick moment to put this video together. Hope it's helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me at 808-754-5800. You can also email me at chadshima@kw.com. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.